Hey two-wheeled friends, welcome back to the channel. Today this 2019 Road King Special is going in for a 3-hole service. We'll call it the 5,000 mile service. Good chance of rain today, so I'm hoping I can pick it up without getting rained on. So I say we'll call it a 5,000 mile service because that's as close as I am. I got 53 for miles on this bike as of this moment. Let's roll the intro and we'll talk a little bit more about my 1,000 mile service and the experience I had and what I'm hoping for on this one. Yeah, so those who have been with the channel for any amount of time and have watched different videos, I have a video that is called I think it's called 1,000 mile service gone wrong or something like that. And I'm giving this dealership another chance, I'll just say that. So when I took it in for the 1,000 mile service, they scratched the primary cover like a big gouge. It's like they slipped with the drill when they were either putting a screw in, or they would have had to be putting it in versus taking it out, and it left a scratch like this long with like a hook on it too. So they said that they had put a new primary cover on for me. They ordered it. I never did take it in and have it put on. They kind of buffed on the scratch and got most of it out, and I just kind of like, well, you know what? A little scratch is a little scratch. The bike's going to be ridden. It's probably going to get its own scratches anyways, and just kind of accepted it as that. This intersection is always crazy. So sorry for not talking like I normally would be. The guy in the van was kind of nice. He stayed back so I could get a clear view to go. Appreciate that. So yeah, not only was there a scratch, but I pulled this in my garage and the thing dripped oil all over my garage floor. And it's like, you know, this shouldn't be dripping. Did they not get something tight, or is it basically residual oil? Found out that it was just residual oil. I took the bike back out there. They didn't wash it after service, and it dripped oil all over the garage floor because of it. So today, when I drop this off, I'm gonna have a conversation with them about the last time, because the last time it was a new tech that worked on it. From what I understand is that tech is not there anymore. They got their master tech yet, that's been there for quite a while. And then actually a classmate of mine that did work on the Honda Shadow works for this dealership now. So, but then they have another new guy. And I called Saturday at like 3 o'clock expecting to be a couple weeks out for service, and their new service writer, or he's newer, said, oh, how soon can you get it here? I'm like, well, I'm out of town at the moment, but what are you thinking? And he's like, well, how about right away Tuesday morning? We open at 9. And I'm like, well, that's pretty fast. And they're closed Mondays. Sundays and Mondays this dealership's closed. So I'm like, okay, well, I give you like 2 hours notice and you can get it in, basically. And he's like, yeah, otherwise it's gonna be a week and a half out. And I'm like, well, that's fine too, but I just wanted it done before the Great Plains Moto Meet down in Lincoln, which was on June 3rd, by the way. So I made the appointment. Didn't really think to ask who would be doing the work, but I'm gonna find out today. So I'm gonna pull in here. I'm gonna drop off my gear because my wife's gonna pick me up, and then I'm gonna be on foot from one business to another. So we'll resume this conversation after I drop this gear off. Well, I can tell you that's definitely better not having that backpack hanging on my shoulders. The next laptop I buy, I'm not going to buy as big a one because then I can actually get it in my saddlebag. Gonna wear that just because I carry my laptop. It's my editing laptop, but I carry it back and forth to work with me because I do other work on it too. It just feels good to rip that throttle, but I've seen guys get pulled over already this year because of it. Just taking off from a stoplight. The other day I was actually getting gas for the lawnmowers. Guy turned off a corner, just tromped on it basically, ripped on it, whatever you want to call it, and there must have been a cop coming because all of a sudden I heard rip, rip, and he pulled over like a block later. But the officer wasn't with them very long, so I don't know if it was just like, hey, I'm going to give you a warning type thing, or if he actually had time to write him a ticket. So this service is probably something I could do on my own. 3-hole service. I could probably go through and tighten nuts and bolts and all that along with it too. I should just buy a service manual and just do that stuff myself along with the lift. Something I've been gonna buy for the last couple of years anyways. But I just like taking it somewhere. I know I pay a little bit more, but take it to somebody who's supposed to know what they're doing. Like I say, supposed to, because that last time. So I'm giving this dealership another chance, and I will report back to you all basically after I pick the bike up and I know everything is good to go. Basically, we'll kind of talk about my experience this time. So I think for now I'm gonna kind of wrap this part of it up. When I come back on, I will be talking about the after service. Hey Two-Wheeled friends, I am back wearing a little less warmth as this morning, so you'll know that I am filming this after working and picking up the bike from its 5,000 mile service. So I kind of talked to the service writer. He's a new writer. I think he's been with the company now for a couple months or so. Kind of filled him in on the story on the 1,000 mile service. There's a new service manager as well, who I went to school with. I think I mentioned that. And I thought he was one of the techs, but he's actually the manager. And they apologized for how everything was handled in the past, which I really appreciated. And actually we chatted a lot checking the bike in of the issues I had, and he assured me that they are working on things and they are going to handle this situation. I don't like riding next to somebody. Handle the situation and make sure nothing happens going forward. So to make that long story short, when I went to pick the bike up, the service writer actually handed me a gift card. So he handed me a gift card and said, we want to make it right with you. And it was a nice gift card. I really appreciate the gesture. It was above and beyond. I didn't expect anything, but it proved that they do want to make it right with me. And he was kind of talking about how they want to try to build a family, basically, like it should be, like the motorcycle community should be. And that was really cool to me to hear that. And we talked bikes. I sat there for a while, kind of talked to him for a while, talked to my former classmate who's the manager now, and told him how, you know, this makes it to YouTube basically, and how I did put the 1,000 mile service gone wrong on YouTube, and how I am gonna put them back on a pedestal because they did make it up to me. I told them this better not leak oil on the garage floor when I park it, and they assured me it won't because they double checked it, made sure it was clean. And just making sure they took care of me was the main thing. And we had a good conversation about potentially what we could do with some future videos, which is something I really wanted to do, is connect with the dealership to, you know, if there's some test rides that you guys want to see, that type of thing, that I have that access to do. Looks like I have a little bit of time before I get rained on here. I hope. I hear a couple clicks on my helmet. So that is really cool. I probably keep saying that, but thank you to Glacial Lakes Harley Davidson. I have never mentioned their name. That's our local dealership. It's a little smaller satellite dealership from their two sister companies, basically. And we're kind of stuck in the middle of those two companies, and just Watertown isn't as big as these other cities, so it works. A lot of nice bikes in there. Let's see, what else? The overall cost of a 3-hole service and doing all the checks definitely increased from when I had the 1,000-mile service done, and I know everything's gone up, but I was a little sticker shocked of the price that it cost to have this work done. But what do you do? That's the price we pay for these machines that we ride. Labor alone was right around that $300. I don't know what it is in your area, but leave a comment down below what you pay your local dealership for your general service work like I had done. And they did go through and check a few other things. Maybe that's where some of that extra costs come in. But so I'm good now till the 10,000 mile. A couple extra checks to have done, but I feel good. I feel like the animosity that I was kind of holding on to a little bit with this dealership, I feel that kind of lifted a little bit from me, and time has passed, obviously, and that's helped, but today definitely helped make me feel good. So if you are in the area, check out Glacial Lakes HD.com, I think is what their website is. I know that they just launched their new website, but Glacial Lakes Harley Davidson, Watertown, South Dakota. Tommy, he's the manager. Jesse's the service manager. Adam, Squishy, I think that's his nickname that he told me. He's a service rider. Those guys will take good care of you. Frank in sales, Karsten in sales, look them up. They can ship you a bike. I don't get paid for this. I'm just giving them a little bit of a shout out. They have a 2023 Black Road King in there. They just sold one, and I'm like, no, I don't want any sister bikes like mine out there. Like, obviously the badging's a little different than this 2019, so. But I'm gonna head to my spot, as you guys are learning, because I gotta get a thumbnail photo. Thumbnail photos are pretty good out here at the lake. Again, that's probably my personal opinion. I got some spots along some buildings I could go to in the city, but this is usually quiet, and I don't draw a lot of attention. So I think with that, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I think I kind of said my piece. I think I kind of said what I needed to about this. If something changes and I get oil, if I wake up and I have oil underneath the bike tomorrow, I'll do another video on it, but I think we're gonna be good. So if you're new to the channel, this happens to be your first video you're watching because you're a Road King fan, and you want to see more, and you want to see Mrs.TWOWHEELD ride her Harley Davidson, go down there, click subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified for future uploads and activity. Give this video a big thumbs up for me. Helps that YouTube algorithm know that you like the videos that are coming your way. And once I find neutral, Until the next time, my two-wheeled friends, peace out, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.